What up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. So we are now entering that part of the season where we've already kind of laid the groundwork for most of this recruiting class. As of right now, Mario Cristobal has the number 10 recruiting class in America. He's laid a nice foundation. He's gone out and gotten his quarterback, Luke Nickel. He's gotten some impact players. He's addressed some needs. Secondary was a huge need. Linebacker, getting a commitment from Elijah Melendez. That's another position of need. And some other areas as well. But overall, he's put together a nice class so far. It's not going to be a big class. Remember, with the amount of spots that are going to be open, we gotta be selective. I know there's a rule change incoming to increase the scholarship slots. I don't know when that takes effect, but as of right now, Mario has limited slots to work with. So because of that, right now he's in whale hunting mode. What is a whale? A whale to me is a program changer. What is a program changer? Well, to me, there's developmental guys. If you work on them, develop them, and they put in the work, they can turn into a decent player. Maybe play on Sundays one day. An impact player is a guy that's going to start and is going to make plays and help you win ball games. But then there's that next level, that upper echelon, the program changers. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you an example. Cam Ward obviously is a program changer. Now, we didn't recruit him out of high school, but we brought him in out of the portal. That's a guy that changes everything as soon as he steps on campus. Ruben Bain, a guy like him, is a program changer. Damian Martinez, Justin Scott. Obviously, he hasn't stepped on the field yet, but a guy of his caliber of player, he is a guy that can potentially be a program changer, top 10 player overall kind of guy. So that's what I'm talking about, where you get 4, 5, maybe 6 of those guys on your roster at one time. All of a sudden, things change just like that. It changes the trajectory of your entire program for the next few years. That's what I mean, because they raise the standard. You bring in those guys, the standard is here now. Not only is there a urgency to win because they're in the program, you don't want them to leave. Nowadays, a guy can leave the very next season. And also, they see them, other guys around them see him putting in the work. Of course, they want to match that level. And that just makes everybody around them better. It makes the competition better in the weight room, in the practice field. And of course, they're making huge big-time plays on the football field. There are 3 big-time program-changing recruits that I'm going to focus on today that Miami has, in my opinion, a legitimate shot at. Number 1 is Yoseph Epinesa. Yoseph Epinesa, standing, according to his 24/7 profile, standing at 6'4", 270. From what I'm hearing, is creeping up closer to that 290 mark. And if I can describe him as a player, he reminds me a lot of Nick and Joey Bosa, where he has the type of power, that raw strength on the defensive line that you cannot teach. He is a guy that will likely play in the NFL, will likely be a very good player, or maybe even a star in the NFL. He is the younger brother of AJ Epinesa from the Buffalo Bills, who committed to Iowa back in 2017 and played a few years at Iowa and ended up going on to the Buffalo Bills. So there's quite an age gap between the two. There's quite a few years in between. I'll get to why that's important. But yeah, right now he's the number 3 defensive lineman in America, according to the 24/7 composite ranking, and he's number 40 overall. On the 24/7 specific ranking, not the composite, he's rated as a 5-star recruit. So definitely a guy that you bring in can have an impact right away. That's another criteria I have for what is a program-changing kind of recruit. A guy that's going to have an impact immediately when he steps on the field, just like Ruben Bain did. So I'm going to make my case for Miami here. I really think Miami has a solid to good shot to land Yoseph Epinesa. A few reasons why is, number 1, the NIL situation. Of course, when his brother AJ was being recruited by Iowa, NIL didn't exist. Well, it did kind of. NIL is legal now, is what I mean. There were a handful of schools that did some stuff, and, the powers that be looked the other way. But I digress. Now it is legal. It is something that Miami has very much taken advantage of, very intelligently, I might add. And That's something that Miami has a huge advantage in that other schools like Iowa or like a Penn State even might not be able to match. So the NIL opportunities here are substantial for a guy like Exeza. Another thing is he's going to have Jason Taylor, an NFL Hall of Famer, coaching him. Now, before you say that Jose's too young, he's not going to remember who Jason Taylor is. Maybe he wasn't old enough to remember watching him live, but Exeza comes from a football family, guys who played defensive line. Believe me, he knows exactly who Jason Taylor is. So him getting a chance to be coached by him directly, that would be, I'm sure, a huge honor for him and an exciting opportunity. He had his most recent visit, according to 24/7, according to that timeline, his most recent visit was with Miami. So you want to have that lasting impression. If you're not the first visit, you want to be the last visit. That's what I always say. Now, there is something working against Miami here, and that's time is not their friend. He has come out and said that, it's been, he's enjoyed the process, but it's been a very stressful process, and he kind of just wants to get it over with before the season starts. High school football starts in the next couple of weeks. So he'll want to get this done by sometime in mid-August. I read somewhere maybe August 14th. I don't know if that's an official day, but I know he wants to get this done. And he strikes me as the type of young man who, once he makes his selection, I don't think he's going to go back on it. Mario Cristobal is someone who, like he did with Mark Fletcher and Justin Scott in the last couple of years, having that season to chip away and chip away and chip away, that is an advantage to Mario. He doesn't have that luxury this time. This young man seems like he's going to make his decision very soon. But he does, the Miami side does check off a lot of boxes as far as advantages. So I think Miami has a pretty solid shot here. So that's one. Number two, DJ Picket. We're all aware of the situation there. He committed verbally to LSU the other day. And, we weren't surprised that he didn't commit to Miami, but we were all kind of surprised that it was LSU. We all thinking it was going to be probably Oregon, but he's committed to LSU as of right now. Some of the things working against Miami here: Corey Raymond, one of the best in the business. Number two, he is being recruited by every school you could imagine. The reason why is DJ Pickett is the number one player in the state of Florida, stands at 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan, and he's still growing. That's the scary part. Not to mention, DJ Pickett is the type of talent that if you put him at one of 3 or 4 different positions, let's say wide receiver, safety, corner, which is his primary position, maybe even linebacker if he bulks up, he could probably play at an All-American level at any one of those positions. That's the type of player DJ Pickett is. Now, while I am fairly confident that we can land Jose Exeza, I'm even more confident that we can flip DJ Pickett's commitment later than I am we can land Jose Exeza here in the next couple of weeks. Here's why. The legacy factor is huge. He is a Miami legacy. Right now, his cousin is on the team, and I think those family ties are strong, especially when it comes to University of Miami. I think that played a big factor in Ruben Bain's recruitment. So I think that's going to play a big factor here. I believe DJ Pickett is waiting and seeing if Miami is for real on the field. Now, I don't think it's going to take a national championship. I don't even think it's going to take a playoff appearance to convince him that Miami is heading in the right direction, that maybe DJ Pickett making that move to the U would get us over the top. I think it would take just the type of season that I think most are imagining Miami's capable of. Even, I'm not talking rivals. I'm not talking Miami fans. I'm talking third-party, impartial people that have come on, on YouTube or whatever, on 3247, and have said Miami has a chance to be really good this year. They're going to have a really good offense. They have a veteran quarterback in Cam Ward. They went out and got some impact players like Damian Martinez, Tyler Barron. Expect Miami to have 9 or 10 wins. Let's say they win 9. That's a big improvement from last year. Let's say they win 9. Maybe they beat FSU head-to-head. Let's say they sneak into the ACC championship game. Maybe not win it, but they get into the championship game. They're there. I'd say that's a big improvement. I think if DJ Pickett sees at least that, that's enough for him to make the move to Miami, in my opinion. So right now, of the three I'm talking about today, he's the one I'm most confident about. I'm not expecting any disasters on the field for Miami. Now, last but not least, Jamie French. Jamie French recently visited Miami during the cookout that they had the other day, last weekend. He stands at 6'1", very skilled, very explosive, competitive. He has great balance, has insane hands, makes great catches in traffic, spectacular playmaker. Definitely an electric kind of player that we want on this team, that we want on this offense. His top schools have changed a few times, but when you're arguably the top receiver in America and you have the Texases and Oregons of the world going after you, offering you whatever things I can't even imagine that are being offered to a 17-year-old young man, it's a tough decision. But I'll make my case for Miami, and I'll give you a couple of the downsides. I'll start with why I think Miami has a shot here. First of all, Kevin Beard. Look who Kevin Beard brought in last year. Nye Carr, Chance Robinson, JoJo Trader. Look what Kevin Beard did with that room. Look how they produced on the field. Xavier Restrepo, maybe the best slot receiver in America, had 1,000 yards. You had Isaiah Horton, who wasn't a starter, but when called upon, made plays. Showed great improvement. He developed. You got Jacoby George, developed a ton. Had close to an 800-yard season. Two of his biggest games were our biggest games on the schedule, the FSU game and the Texas A&M game. He had monster days those two games. I think that's due in large part to the tutelage of Kevin Beard. People have raved about what a good teacher he is. Another factor, Hilton Drake Stubbs, Jamie French's teammate at Mandarin High School. That's a factor, of course, that familiarity to be able to play with your high school teammate. I don't know how close they are, but I think that is a factor that needs to be considered. And of course, we're all expecting, no matter what the record's going to be, I think Miami's going to have a fast-paced, exciting type of passing offense that's going to share the ball with the playmakers. Cam Ward, at least what I've seen throughout the spring, maybe we'll see it now in fall camp, has already developed great rapport with multiple receivers, Isaiah Horton, Xavier Restrepo. He's already been working with Sam Brown. That's another guy that had 800 plus yards last year, not with Miami, but that's another productive player that you're adding. So all good boxes to check off for Miami. Here's the downside, though. Everyone in America is after him. He changes his mind a lot. So my confidence level might be 75 one day. It might be 20 the other day. So I'm just waiting until August 30th, which is what he has said is his commitment date, the day before the Florida game. We will see what happens. Of those three, I would rank them as my confidence level. I'm most confident in DJ Pickett. Like I said, I think we're going to take care of business to the extent that I think will convince DJ Pickett to flip. Number two is Yoseph. I'm fairly confident will land his commitment. I think Miami's really chopping wood and working hard on that one. Third being Jamie French. Not to say that I don't think we're going to get Jamie French. I think we have a chance. But again, everyone in America is after him. He has visited Miami a lot. He has also visited Tennessee a lot recently. So take that how you want to take it. Let's see how that pans out. But it's an exciting time. It's July 30th. It's almost early August, which means fall camp is beginning this week. We are about a month away from the season kicking off. That Florida game is going to be big. It's going to be very telling to see what direction recruiting goes. I think Miami will have their pick with a few different guys if they can win that Florida game and win convincingly, which they have a shot at. Anyways, guys, please, as always, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that like button. Share this video with your friends and fellow Cane fans. Also, my video game content. I have been playing EA College Football 25. I've been posting some videos. I'm going through a season right now. I'll be posting the third video very soon and a fourth one soon after that. So please go through the videos. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. Hit the like button, give it a view, share it with your friends as well. And as always, go Canes.